So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 15 of our F1 Manager 24 Team Lotus save. Now we've just had the summer break and we have got a lot to catch up on. No more so than Liam Lawson. It looks like he's going to be leaving the team at the end of the season to join Alpine. We did get a message from Liam Lawson saying that he's had the chance, he's had a contract, to go to the team at RB, And so Visa Cash App RB wanting Liam Lawson. I'm guessing that's going to be something to do with him being a young Red Bull driver. Would we like to make a counter offer? The answer's probably no on the basis of this season so far. He has just started to turn good. But Liam Lawson will be leaving at the end of the season. And he's not the only one as well, because Yves Pastille, I'm just trying to find his contract offer, he's been offered the job at Aston Martin. So I think, again, that's probably too good an opportunity for him to turn down, in all fairness. And look, we'll move on. So we have got two people of significance leaving at the end of the season. Other things off track, the car's been getting better. We've got some new parts on the car. It's looking rather decent at this moment in time as we approach the second half of this season at Lotus. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about the finances. We are in a bit of a mess at this moment in time. We haven't got a lot of money and we could be in a bit of a Braun GP situation in the very near future, but don't worry about that because you know, there's always loans and overdrafts and things. So that's that. If you didn't watch Spa before the mid-season break, Max Verstappen won that Grand Prix, I should say, from Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Liam Lawson finished in P10 and unfortunately Enzo Fittipaldi was a DNF on the day. As we start the second half of the season, we can look at the constructors. Ferrari are leading from Red Bull and McLaren. We're in P6. We have got to be RB. We, of course, are looking at taking Liam Lawson. Driver standings wise, Max Verstappen is leading by 20 points from Charles Leclerc. Liam Lawson's in P12 and Enzo Fittipaldi is in P13. It'll be interesting if Liam Lawson does go to RB, whether there is a chance to take either Tsunoda or Ricciardo to Team Lotus. Today we head to Zandvoort. This should be quite a fun Grand Prix. We've got 72 laps around here. Medium and high-speed cornering is very apparent. It could be a good Grand Prix for us, this, it must be said. Expected strategy is a two-stop. But all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are full of optimism for the second half of this season. So I'm going to get through practice and I'll see you in qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix. Well, it's the start of the second half of the season, but Liam Lawson has wasted no time in crashing. He's done it in qualifying. And he's knackered his rear wing up. And the reason we've probably not got a lot of money is the amount of parts that we've had to replace throughout this season. Yeah, and Liam Lawson is now into the pits with a damaged rear wing. Final laps then in Q3. Liam Lawson doing a sterling job despite crashing and not only breaking a rear wing but breaking a chassis and a gearbox. Liam Lawson is doing very well in terms of speed this weekend and he is in P6, but it looks like Fittipaldi's locked up on his flying lap as well in Q3. So straight away, second half of the season, the car is quick, but our two guys are struggling a little bit to keep the car on the road. And as Fittipaldi crosses the line, I can't see him improving on this run. Is it going to be enough for P7? I would suggest it is. P6 and P7 is a very, very decent qualifying run. But yeah, it's cost us a bit of money again, and it's just these financial restrictions can really come into play. But Checo Perez will be on pole for the Dutch Grand Prix from Charles Leclerc, Verstappen in P3 and Norris in P4, P6 and 7. We can't grumble, and we've got rain on Sunday. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, so P6 and P7, we are going to look at the one stop, but we have got the option to switch to a two. It is going to be intermediates all the way along. But switching to a two-stop might be an option if we feel it's necessary. So P6, P7, we've took a lot of fuel out of the car. Let's get to 5 red lights.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. I suspect that we'll all be closely following Charles Leclerc in this one.
They're in second place on the grid, but that could so easily change in the first few seconds after lights out.
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? The drivers are ready and the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out And away we go.
And away we go, and Liam Lawson got a decent start, as did Enzo Fittipaldi. In fact, he got a much better start than Fittipaldi, and the two Lotus are straight away flying in formation. Fittipaldi and Liam Lawson. We can see the McLarens in front of Lando Norris and Piastri. You've got to say, the car part development has been fantastic this year. We've managed to get up to sort of the higher midfield quite quickly, which is boding well for the new season. Straight away, Liam Lawson's on the back of this McLaren and looking all over him. At the start of this Grand Prix, you can hear he's having to lift to stay behind these McLarens at this moment in time. And Fittipaldi doing the same behind as well. So lap one, Perez leads from Leclerc, but the two Lotuses pressuring the McLarens. Enzo Fittipaldi is not overtaking his teammate, he's also overtaken Lando Norris into turn one. Beautiful work. DRS was open, I think, at this point. The track was just about dry. And then Liam Lawson also fancied the move as well. Haha, mega indeed for Enzo Fittipaldi, as the two Lotus are still flying in formation up to P5 and 6. Verstappen is next on our list. Could we possibly get a podium today? It's unlikely, but stranger things have happened. Liam Lawson's just had a very difficult moment because he didn't have DRS. The two cars behind him did, and not only did Fittipaldi manage to squeeze through, but you'll notice Lando Norris on the inside as well manages to get down. And then it's a disappointing moment that for Liam Lawson, of course, being coveted by the RB team. Fittipaldi now 9/10 of a second behind Lando Norris. There is a gap emerging between us and the Aston Martin behind. We are thinking the two-stop might be the way to go with the way these tyres are burning up. Lap 4. I am seriously considering terminating this guy's contract. I was so optimistic before the summer break that we were going to keep Liam Lawson, but he's just spun out again. Yeah, I mean, it's become a common theme now, and I think we've got to be aware that Liam Lawson is just not performing. Maybe it's just something that's just not worked for him, but he's spun out, so it's all eyes on Fittipaldi now leading the charge. Lawson's still in the points paying positions, but we might swap him to a two-stop and try something a little bit different, but we're on lap 8. Liam Lawson is starting his redemption drive now because he's managed to get past Lewis Hamilton. The rain is meaning there's not too much happening here. The only reason Lawson's having any sort of action is because he decided to spin his car. But that's a lovely move from Liam Lawson. He does show these moments of quality. But we'll have a full rundown on lap 10. It's Perez from Piastri, Leclerc in P3, Verstappen in P4, then comes Norris, Fittipaldi, Stroll, Ricciardo, Lawson in P9, Hamilton P10. Liam Lawson now is going for a two-stop strategy, meanwhile Fittipaldi's on the one-stop. Liam Lawson is in to P8. You can see the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz behind him, but we decided to give him that little bit of ERS, and he's past Daniel Ricciardo, and hopefully Daniel Ricciardo can hold up the Ferrari behind as well. But Liam Lawson, brilliant work from him there, up into P8. As we cut back to the live action, we can see Piastri's in. He's obviously trying the two-stop as well. Fittipaldi, it must be said, he's making these tyres last beautifully at this moment in time, so we have no reason to change tyres with Enzo Fittipaldi. But Lawson powering on now on these intermediates. He's going to be into the pits in around 6 laps time. But as fast as Liam Lawson is, he's not faster than a Ferrari, and Carlos Sainz are very much getting the job done then. Just around the outside it was, and then into this left-hander. He was around the outside. We weren't really fighting that. Liam Lawson probably knows that that's not his fight today. He's already 1.4 seconds up the road, but Fittipaldi cruising along nicely. And I've got to say, actually, he's cruising up to the back of Lando Norris. We're bringing you back, ladies and gentlemen, because Enzo Fittipaldi is leading the Grand Prix. Admittedly, we haven't pit just yet, but we're making this one-stop work at the moment with Fittipaldi. He's looking after his tyres beautifully, and it's working very, very well for the young Brazilian driver. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson is into the pits on lap 25. We've identified a gap, we believe, between Sainz and Stroll to get Liam Lawson out into. It's a decent stop, 2.9 seconds. We've been doing some nice work on the pit stops throughout the summer as well. Now, where is that? Is Lance Stroll. I think we should be ahead of Lance Stroll, and we are. That's great work from Liam Lawson and the pit stop crew, and he's back out into P9 on the two-stop. Fittipaldi making the tyres last. And unfortunately, Fittipaldi leading the Grand Prix for that long didn't last too long because Checo Perez managed to get past him. He's got a Red Bull, for goodness sake. Let's not be too disappointed with that, but around the outside in turn 1, it's great work from Checo Perez as he retakes the lead from Enzo Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi, if he were to pit now, would drop back into P7, but P6. But that being said, if there's a safety car, Fittipaldi will benefit massively from it. So at the moment, we're quite happy with how things are playing out. But Lawson at the minute, he's now on the charge.
Now, this
Enzo
was a turn
Fittipaldi,
one.
he's looking after the tyres, and then he goes and does this.
Let's go. And ultimately, just unable
And
to
that
bring the car under control.
is just criminal because he was in such a good position. He's knackered his tyres up now and he has dropped to P6. He's also got to make another pit stop. He's still trying to rejoin. It's not good at all for Fittipaldi, who's going to be coming in very, very shortly. Liam Lawson tottering along nicely in P8 at this minute, but his teammate is about to pit. As we can see, Fittipaldi coming around the final corner. That's where he would have been. He'd have been coming out in that position if he'd not spun that car. So Fittipaldi into the pits. Not a happy bunny, I don't imagine. I can't say we are very impressed either with what we've just witnessed. But listen, we've got young drivers, I get that. But we've got to start cancelling out these areas. You can see why Gunther Steiner got so upset with Mick Schumacher, I must admit. When you're in this position, and it's costing you points, it's costing you money, it's costing you everything, really. Yeah, you can certainly see why Gunther Steiner got upset. Fittipaldi is going to emerge in P9, P10. He's going to emerge in P10 just, but that is his final pit stop completed. So Fittipaldi now get those tyres up to temperature, and that's Fittipaldi's pit stops done. Liam Lawson still got to pit again. Fittipaldi has overtaken Lewis Hamilton. It's got to be said that Mercedes does not look in the greatest of nick at this moment in time. And Enzo Fittipaldi round the outside into turn one. We will take that all day long. Fair play to Fittipaldi, who's now in P9 chasing down Lance Stroll. He could still make this work a little bit, Fittipaldi. He's got the capabilities to manage these tyres towards the end. We're just going to get him under control a little bit now. And get the light tyre saving on. But he's not that far behind Lance Stroll. I'm pretty sure he could get him. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson's still pushing on. We're still trying to be aggressive now. We've got the tyres back in the temperature window. Lap 36, we're at purely halfway, so we will have a rundown. Perez is in P1 with the fastest lap. He's loving life today. Piastri in P2, Leclerc P3, then comes Verstappen, Norris, Sainz, Lawson P7, Stroll in P8, then Fittipaldi and Hamilton make up the top 10. Into the pits comes Liam Lawson on lap 49 for his final pit stop. Fittipaldi's just, like I say, on tyre saving mode now on these intermediates. Providing he makes no mistakes, really, he should quite comfortably get in the top 10 this afternoon. It could be a story of what could have been. God, we're good at making these. We are so good at making these intermediate tyres appear. We like magic, our pit crew. But Liam Lawson, 2.7 second stop. Yellow flag. Oh, no. Oh no, I think Fittipaldi's just had a little spin. Oh no, it's not. It's Leclerc. We just got a message. We saw you spin, but maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was Charles Leclerc. Let's have a little look. Charles Leclerc racing the McLaren. Goes spinning off into the gravel, to be fair.
No.
He's not happy, but I mean, it could be worse, mate. You could have done it twice this weekend, but he's now down to P5. Fittipaldi's doing okay. Every time I see a yellow flag now, I just expect it to be a Lotus F1 car. But Fittipaldi P7, Lawson P8, we're doing enough. Liam Lawson has caught his teammate up and he's been told, we've not said to Fittipaldi let him through exactly, but we've just said don't really try and fight it. But Fittipaldi, there's no reason for him to fight this. Liam Lawson's going to be past him sooner rather than later, I can admit. And to be honest with you, it might actually be worth letting Fittipaldi let him through. So I think that's what we're going to do now. Do not fight teammate Fittipaldi. Get out of the way, which he does. Ish. Yeah, he's got out of the way, and Fittipaldi lets Lawson through. We've got to do those team orders. They're on different strategies. It doesn't make sense for them to be fighting. So both Team Lotus cars P7 and 8, if we get no more problems, that should be that. So Perez is still leading, by the way, by 10 seconds from Piastri. Leclerc and Sainz, it's very split up. Probably the closest battle on circuit at this moment. You'd have to say he's Verstappen from Sainz, but Verstappen at the minute doesn't seem to be able to catch him. But and he does have a better tyre at this moment, Carlos Sainz. So there we are at this moment in time. But Lawson now P7, Fittipaldi P8. Final lap of the Grand Prix then, and Perez is cruising along. He's had a little bit of a gearbox issue towards the end of this Grand Prix, but to be fair to him, managed it effectively, and we're just watching him come around the final couple of corners. He's been dominant from the Red Bull driver today. It must be said Carlos Sainz did actually sprint away from Charles Leclerc. We might keep an eye on this battle actually, because Carlos Sainz is chasing down his teammate Charles Leclerc. Now, will he possibly manage to get him before the line? We're going to ride on board here with Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc, of course, the closest challenger at this moment in time to Max Verstappen. I'd be amazed if Ferrari actually let Sainz past here, which it doesn't look like they are going to do. He's comfortably going to finish in P4, is Carlos Sainz. It's a good podium for Charles Leclerc. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson is just coming around the final sector as well. It's been decent from Liam Lawson today. P7, that early spin that he had was obviously an issue, but Liam Lawson's done a sterling job on the two-stop strategy. I think that possibly was the way to go. Saying that, if Enzo Fittipaldi had decided not to spin the car, where would he have ended up today? Would he have ended up? He certainly have ended up, I think, in front of his teammate. Maybe, possibly somewhere closer to Lando Norris, but I think that's probably as good as it we're going to get for Fittipaldi today as he comes around the final corner. Again, it's a weekend that's cost us a lot of money, but we've scored a few points. Let's get to the podium.
All in all, I'd say that was a pretty promising drive we saw from them.
That's a solid points finish, and all in all, a good drive for them today.
No stranger to the podium, the Mexican driver now takes his place after another remarkable race.
Their first win of the season, and the team looking on will be very proud, I'm sure.
First win of the season. Maybe he's had a little kitchen chat with Christian Horner, Checo Perez, but it was a fantastic drive from him. Dominance on the day. Piastri P2, as we saw Leclerc P3. Carlos Sainz gained 12 positions on the day. Fair play to him. Verstappen P5, Norris P6, Lawson, Fittipaldi, Stroll and Hamilton. Driver standings wise, Max Verstappen has his lead cut down to just 15 points to Charles Leclerc. Now Sainz gains as well in P3, Norris P4 and Perez is up to P5 after that win. We can see Liam Lawson on 23 points now, Fittipaldi on 17. I'm looking a little bit further back at some drivers who haven't scored a point yet, and you look at the likes of Albon, Gasly, Ocon. I mean, even Nico Hulkenberg's only got the one. There's 4 drivers there, Bottas, that could very much be in a Team Lotus car next season, I think. Constructor standings wise, Ferrari do stay top, but Red Bull are closing all the time now. McLaren in P3, RB in P7. We gained 10 points. We're now only 23 points behind Aston Martin. But of course, with these financial restrictions we're going to be facing very soon, that might be a bridge too far. Ladies and gentlemen, we kick the second half of the season off with a good point scoring performance for the team. More money that we have lost in parts, but a decent result nonetheless. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one. Ta-ra.